past weekend was the 4-H fair at the Farmington Fairgrounds. Kids brought their bunny rabbits and their fancy roosters and their horses, of course. And Alicia entered the crazy hat contest. She also entered a photo contest, and we spent a long time watching the kids with their matched sets of oxen. They start pretty young. The next afternoon, Sunday, was her piano recital at Nordica Auditorium. She was the first performer. Ineluctably, I began to think of my own recitals. Alicia's teacher is so sweet and gentle. Mine would hit you with a stick if you made a mistake. Alicia played 2 duets with Catherine, and she let me play 1 in between. I've never been so nervous for a performance. I didn't want to let her down. After we were done, she turned to me and said, "Dad, I didn't even hear your mistakes." She's a nice kid. This is what Mainers call the shed. It's a little barn attached to our house, and down here is our firewood, what's left from last winter. And you know, like stuff like snowshoes and baskets and old, what do you call that thing, like megaphone, you know, for a cheerleader, and there's an old lamp and kerosene lamp and goggles and old frames and the, you know, sprinkler and just all kinds of stuff, the kind of stuff you have in your shed. I've got plenty of it. Since I hurt my neck, I haven't been able to do much picking up. Anyway, Chris Bremser tells me that Dewey DeLay was in the band before Chris Bremser left for prep school. So my memory there was faulty as usual. And I think it's Dewey who brought Nancy Talmadge on board. Nancy was younger than all of us. Anyway, the band became Downstream. And Dewey's father, who was in the music business, recorded us when we played at the big talent show at New Canaan High School. He was, you know, he had a reel-to-reel system, and he recorded it and took it into New York City, where he had it pressed into an album, which we thought was endlessly cool. Anyway, I think that album's upstairs here in my shed with all kinds of other junk. There's an owl kite there and an oud. My father brought me this instrument from Turkey, I think, back in high school. It's a oud, O-U-D. Never did learn how to play it because it's kind of difficult. It only has 3 strings. That's my desk from my childhood right there. Got that when I was 5 years old for Christmas. Alicia used it for a while. And of course there's the American Girl box, and another American Girl box over there, and all sorts of childhood things from Alicia's life. And here is a huge box of old records. There must be 200, 300 albums in here. I got a bunch in the house too. Right on top. Wow, the Wicked Pickett. Wilson Pickett. Oh my gosh. Love that album. And in here somewhere, I know, is, there it is, I see it. Downstream was a step up from Credibility Gap. Our songs were getting more sophisticated. We had a new drummer named Al Caruso. Dewey DeLay was still playing bass. He was a very good bass player. One of the big questions is about Nancy Talmadge, who was our singer. She was an 8th grader, and Rick Osborne points out how nervous she must have been. She became my girlfriend at some point, but I can't recall if it was while we were in the band or later. I'd like to find out. I'd like to remember. And of course, I'd like to find Nancy. Okay, my turntable's broken, so I'm gonna have to twirl it by my finger so the speed will be uneven, but you can get an idea of what downstream sounded like. Also, part of the record's broken right here, this silver spot, so I gotta aim the needle just right so I don't fall off the edge. Let's hear it.